their intro.
Hey,
I actually would love.
Hey.
I feel a virtual reality
Will
intro needs
you
Spencer to
please
DM Mandy Moore.
Come on our new podcast. We can have so much fun.
And reality.
Okay, then we're gonna DM Mandy Moore for our next episode of Virtual Reality. But we're so excited because we just wrapped up the 16th minute with Spencer and Heidi, and now they're coming on to our podcast for Page 6 Virtual Reality. And I'm still recovering from how much fun we had on your show.
I was crying, literally, and I just got makeup done. I'm like, this is not okay. Can't be this funny.
But I feel like you guys are so good at just like sitting down and letting everything out and everything. And I mean, obviously, because you guys have been pros of that for over a decade plus.
Thank you. And you guys have saved all the real questions and comments for your podcast.
Yeah, we
So now
actually
I
didn't
feel
know
like-
that you were allowed to have notes and paper in your lap.
Chelsea,
we were,
did you give them our notes?
yeah, like because we freestyled ours. And
Well, you guys are great freestylers, by the way. Yeah,
let's check out those documents you guys have for this deposition.
We are taking this interview so seriously because we love, cherish, and adore you guys, and we appreciate your contributions to the world of reality TV. I mean, that is what we talk about on our podcast, and you two are icons, you are pioneers, and you have contributed so much, and now you are gunning for that 16th minute. With the podcast, how did this come to be, the 16th minute, and what are you hoping to achieve with it? I mean, are we trying to go to minute 17, minute 100? Like, what's the plan?
No, I talk too much.
No, you
no,
are.
I'm
Take
on,
it
I'm on
away,
a break.
Pratt Heidi.
I'm just gonna let you speak for a while.
Take it away.
I'm resting my jaw.
Oh my gosh, so dramatic. Yes, so we love podcasting, and obviously we love The Ringer, and so it just seemed like a good moment, and also about getting behind the scenes of pop culture. So sometimes nobody knows what is going on with the paparazzi setup or like the reveal, so it's kind of inside scoop too of Hollywood, of things that we think are going on in reality TV, in pop culture, in the world. So kind of sharing that insider information that people don't want to necessarily divulge and put out there because everyone's so image crafty and pretending. So
Well, that's what I love about you guys, because so many times people are like, I was just at Ralph's. Why is there a camera outside? I'm like, why are you grocery shopping in heels and a gown? Like you're going to like the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's like, because this was planned. And I love that you're showing everybody the behind the scenes, because that's what people love to see too.
Right. And I feel like we're in a different generation now. Like before, maybe it was fun to like pretend and make it more nostalgic and that's the way you do. But it's like, we're in 2023. There's TikTok, there's behind the scenes. People like that, I feel like, even more than the set up photo.
Yeah.
They want the juice behind it. They want the information. They want the conspiracy.
Well, I want to go back in time before podcasts and TikTok and all that stuff ever existed. The year is 2008. Forbes releases their list of the girls who have appeared on the most magazine covers that year. It's Jennifer Aniston, it's Angelina Jolie, Jamie Lynn Spears, and you're on that list. What is going through your mind in that magical moment in time? Because I'm nostalgic for that.
I need that frame.
Yeah, where could we print that?
Where did you see that?
Yeah, like, what else you got on those pieces of paper? I'm going to Kinko's after this. I love hearing that so much.
That's incredible. That was such an incredible moment of time, and it really should have been, Spencer and I, because we've just always been a team, and without him, I wouldn't have been on those covers, and so that's just such a stamp of where we were at that moment, and like the love that we were getting from Us Weekly and Rolling Stone at the time, and it was just such a Cosmo and Cosmo Girl, and that was a great year. 2008, I kept saying, it's gonna be great, and it was great.
2000 and great.
Yeah, I was like, totally.
And I love that she gave you props.
Yes.
Tell us about sort of the machination behind you two figuring this out together. I mean, you guys literally wrote the book on how to be famous. Like, how did you figure this out as a team?
I feel like it was natural because I got to see in person Paris Hilton and then Nicole Richie, and just like to see how maniacal in the most loving way you can say that, but there was no accident about their success and how they were involved in everything to be famous, and getting to see that, I was like, oh, this is easy. And then once you get a TV show and the potential of that, you can really just go. And then obviously Peter Grossman at Us Weekly, who we had on the pod. He was such a great teammate to put us on game. And then James Aliot from, at the time, Pacific Coast News, one of the first like big PAP agencies. He taught us the whole, as he would say, the British media version, and that's what he was trying to have us be like, panto. That was the vision he was putting on us. And we didn't understand that till then we went and did Celebrity Big Brother and understood this whole like pantomime, like baddies and like that we were the baddies and you just to be over the top and everything needs to
It's
have
like theater there.
Yeah.
They like yell at you and they're like,
Yeah.
it's
Very
like a
Shakespearean.
Fun, yeah, and they love the bad guy there. It's like a fun.
Yeah, it's not so like they know you're playing the bad guy and they appreciate it. So
and my first cover was from plastic surgery. And nobody was talking about it then. So it was like right when Ashley Simpson, I don't know, allegedly, or if I don't know what it was, had her nose done or whatever. And so
I think she's maybe come out with the truth at this point.
I don't know.
I feel like
On
that's
a
coming
Monday,
out.
it was one nose, and on a Tuesday, it was another nose. So the pieces of me.
We should
are
have
there.
her on the
Yeah.
pod. I'll reach out to her. She'd be great.
Oh,
She was
she's
so
so
nice to
nice.
me at the
Yeah, you're right.
Jurassic.
Mhm.
Was it? No,
And
Disney on Ice.
Those
Disney on Ice.
albums were
She's got
amazing.
Ashley.
Heidi loved them
mean-
so much when I met her. She was actually recording a rock album, and I was like,
Well, I had this
You wanna
music
la,
manager, and he's like, this is the route you should go. And I was like, okay, but originally I wanted to do like pop. And he was like, well, I think you could transition this way.
to the point where my best friend at the time and I were like, this is not it for y'all. And he's so smart. I was like, yo, bro, you need to write her like a Toxic. Next thing you know, he wrote a hit, even we should have dropped it, called Snake Charmer. And it was.
Is that somewhere on the internet? Can I
No,
listen
we
to
never
it?
recorded it. But
Drop
like
it.
that's how much that was Whitney's boyfriend at the time from the Hills was my buddy Dave. And I was like, Dave, you gotta help me write a pop banger for her because she's trying to do rock music.
Wait, I'd love if you just did Metallica covers. It's like Montag on Metallica. We're like, wait, what? Yeah.
in a different vein. So then Spencer took me. Anyways, that was the first cover was
Yeah.
the surgery because nobody was really out talking about surgery then and like coming out with it. And the cover sold so well. And then that was really our In With Us Weekly too. And then the show started really being, and then Lauren had a cover chip after that. But the first Hills cover of any girl was my cover with the cosmetic surgery. And then I still have the top third selling.
One.
Or one.
Stop
Gosh,
saying three.
All right.
Where you
It was
getting
one.
this? God.
I have the top selling Us Weekly magazine cover to this day.
Oh my
Peter
God.
just
Why I called off
confirmed
my
that.
wedding. That's right. he did.
Wow.
Banger.
Yeah.
Banger.
But I would pray really hard, and it sounds silly, but I would be like, please, God, let me have the #1 selling cover. And then it happened. I'm like,
Manifestation.
who says prayer? God doesn't care about all the prayers, right?
Wow.
Like,
He's
Who says
listening.
God doesn't believe in plastic surgery?
Yeah,
He
hey.
had that cover sell.
judge
Made
me?
doctors.
The devil doesn't want you to have #1 selling anything. Let me
Yeah,
just tell you
When
that.
you were planning that first round of surgery, were
Mm-hmm.
you also thinking of, okay, how am I going to try and make this an
Mm-hmm.
Us Weekly cover? Or was that an afterthought after you had scheduled the surgery?
No, it came as a package deal.
yeah, so
Us
Ken
Weekly
Baker.
brought it.
Ken Baker had the surgeon, Dr. Frank Ryan, and he was like, at an event, I actually wasn't seeking cosmetic surgery at the time at all. He like came up to me and was like, hey, have you thought about cosmetic surgery? I'm like, yeah, and now I'm really thinking about it.
Wait, the biggest. Oh my god, that would. If someone
like,
went up to me and asked that, you would see me arrested. They'd be like, did you ever think of lipo? I'd be like, oh. Thank you.
So 2008, 2007 is a little different, right? And then I was like, and I'm 20 or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, and and I was little, I would like stuff my bras or whatever. So I was like, well, this is within the brand, the vein of what I wanted. Why not? I'm not opposed to it. Great. And then it was free, and I saw like, well, I'm barely
were
making
taking
$1,000
anything
on
free at
this
this
show.
point.
Totally. I was like excited to have a handbag for free, and I was like, surgery? You okay for it? The anesthesia too, right? Okay.
I'm not paying for the morphine.
I was like, I'm in debt. I don't have any money. I don't want any bills coming out of this. Okay, free, right? You got a contract, so I think I paid like a few $100s for something. But yeah, it was free, and then with the cover and the Us Weekly and the back grid shot it and the photos, and I was thrilled to.
I don't think
to do that.
Backridge shot it.
Oh, Somebody shot it.
Someone
you know
did.
what? I should just
There was
stop
always a
saying that.
camera
That was when
around.
the morphine was coming in. You're like, yeah.
Actually, I was so thirsty when I came out. I kept telling the driver, I'm like, just pull over to that gutter. I will drink that water because you're so thirsty.
Stop the ambulance.
I was literally about to jump out of the. Yeah, it was crazy. So
Wait, because I love that you guys have had all these moments in like teamwork style. Like,
yeah.
oh, this is a good call. This is a good call. Have you guys ever done? Oh, this is a good call. Then you're like, oh, that was not a good call.
Oh, many times.
Oh,
I think we're like,
more not
why
good
did you say it
calls.
was a good call? I don't know that you thought it was
More
a good
not
call.
good calls than good. I mean, they're all. I don't remember a good call. This is the best thing we've done in a while. Is this podcast?
Kind of more like a Rochambeau. It's like
It's like Russian roulette with
Yeah.
just all ammo. And it's just like
does this work?
fully loaded revolver.
Or be fully loaded.
What was one call that really worked out that you were like surprised? You're like, oh my god, that was the best decision we ever made. And then on the flip side of that, what sticks out as kind of like the worst thing you guys sort of strategized together?
Well, definitely, I'd say the elopement, just being like, let's go get married for a cover, and then actually being like, this is the smartest thing ever. Of course, should have got married 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was great.
So like that was like just a random phone call that turned into Mexico the next day.
And it gave us that moment. And then I kept being like, is this a cover? Are we really getting married? Like, what are we doing? So she's like, it's a cover and we're really going to get married. I'm like, okay, let me call my mom.
You're like, are we exclusive or is this an exclusive?
Is this a Us Weekly exclusive marriage?
Is this like forever or are we getting divorced next week on the other cover? Like, what's happening? You know? So it was always kind of a merge of like, all right, what are we doing? Are we really doing this? Are we fake? You know, like, what are we doing? And it always ended up being.
It sounds kind of like a fun
Real.
space to live in, though. You know,
Yeah.
like, is it real? Is it not? What's going on? But we're just having fun.
I think the worst call would happen again. Once Tony DeSanto told us The Hills was done, and that they were just as the collector, she was called. Once it got so desperate, just trying to destroy us in the last season, that we were just like, the way the edit looks, like we're insane, but we just knew what was happening. The show's over. They're just trying to milk. And the way we always played along, as Heidi said it before, is they would say, we'll redeem you in the next story arc. We knew there was no redemption. You know, yeah, we knew this is it. Like that joke, you know, that, okay, gotcha. We
right.
now know it's over.
I got the next round.
Yeah. So so going back, you know, if I could have a time machine, the decision of just like which was just so hard because it's like, oh my God, like the party's over kind of thing, that acceptance and having that emotional journey while dealing with so much real family drama on both parts that was created by the show with the producers and people making bad decisions. You know, it was just so much came together at that time that there were bad choices that I wish, you know, if I was a mature 40-year-old and doing that and could go back, I would, you know, play it differently.
What were some of the choices that you made during that kind of like dissension?
We just shouldn't have even gone on camera. We were getting paid. Once at that stage, we didn't have to film to get paid. So eventually we said, fine, we're done. And it looks like we got kicked off the show, but we just walked because it was just so.
We got paid out.
Yeah, we got. So it was like, so we should have done it.
Cashing that check?
We should have
Yeah,
just
we're
not
cashing
been
the
on
check all we
season
I don't need
6.
no call sheet. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
I won't be there.
Yeah.
Season 6, we
my
shouldn't have
lines.
just even showed up and got the check and it not looked like, because that's the stuff people are like, where I look extra crazy, Heidi looks beautiful, and you know.
Well, also it was really tricky because I just had all that cosmetic surgery. They called Spencer at a point and told him I had died, basically. He had to come there. I wasn't doing well. You know, we had to have nurses at the house for months to help me recover. You know, at the time, my surgeon was like, oh, it will be quick recovery, like a few months. And it took me over a year to heal. So, like, I could barely talk. My jaw, I just had, like, part of my chin sawed off. I mean, it was really a lot, you know, and then just dealing with that. So I wasn't even in a place. And I kept saying, like, I'm not a person right now. Like, I need to, like, heal and recover, and I'm not doing well physically. Like, I'm not able to show up like I was. I thought I'd bounce back and be able to be on TV like I was after my first cosmetic surgery, but there was just way too much done, and each thing took so much time and it hurt so bad, and I was just in such an immense amount of pain, and Spencer had just seen that. So we're going from dealing with medical things and like serious, severe things that, you know, obviously it was my choice,
yeah, like,
right?
no,
But
not
I wasn't
victims.
aware of the repercussions and how long that would take. So we're dealing with that, and then we have these producers being like, say this and that, and we're like, this is not we can't do this. And we told you that. So it just became
What did
tricky.
you think of the scene where like all the girls came together and like tearfully said why or why not they were like not hanging out with you guys anymore? Like, did you
I've
guys
never
have any?
seen that.
You've never. Oh, because that's right. Because you don't watch.
I've seen like a
No.
TikTok of it.
What
you
did
know,
they
where they
say?
where they like play off the like the we're now gone.
Like,
like,
girl,
yeah,
I haven't seen any of you in years.
Yeah.
So
Like, yeah.
I think that should have been season 2.
like,
when you all said you wouldn't film with us
Yeah.
anymore. Like, bye.
That's hysterical
Yeah, I'm
because
like, what?
they all came together and very like tearfully explained
Did
why.
they think I died?
Yeah,
Like, is it a
honestly,
funeral?
it felt kind
The
of
doctor
like
called
that.
them, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Oh, we loved Heidi. No, you didn't. You
They,
didn't
like-
film with me for the last 4 years.
They wheeled just like a zipped up bag. They're like, that's Heidi, guys. Like, yeah.
this is
her
her.
surgery.
Yeah, what would you want to say to her? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
So-
gosh.
I love that you two ultimately came together via Kristen Cavallari, though, and I feel like she was always a great pillar of support for the two of you, and you guys maintained a good relationship. But what I'm so curious about, and I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this, but because Lauren and Kristen had such a semi-contentious dynamic, and Kristen was the one who introduced you, do we think that Lauren was so anti-Spencer from the jump because he was introduced through Kristen?
I have never
So,
thought about that.
Actually, she loved Spencer. Like,
Lauren.
oh, yeah. To a point where I was like,
they didn't
okay,
film this. This
like,
is preseason.
you don't need to love him that much.
You're like, hey,
you know?
lady.
Yeah.
Lauren-
You're like, actually, calm down, Lauren.
Yeah, don't.
Huh.
There were a few points where she's like, my dad would just love you. You should meet my dad. And I'm like, he hasn't met my family. And like, I don't think he really, that's not appropriate. Like, I would never say that to her
No.
boyfriend. And like, my dad would, so there were like,
Again, another thing if someone said to me, I'd be arrested.
so there's a whole
Don't steal the
list.
man or ask me for lipo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so no, it was the fact when Brody wouldn't date her anymore or hook up with her or whatever it was. And then she's like, we're done with them, basically. And I was like, no, we're not
Brody and I
done
were a
with them.
package deal.
Yeah. So I'm like, no. I really like Spencer. And, there was a lot of like ups and downs going on because we were both dating different people. And then there was just a lot of factors that were between Spencer and I. So I can see as an outside best friend being like, okay, maybe you want to like, are you sure that you want to do this? But like I would say to her, like, well, I was in on it and then I saw it play out on TV and in person and I did get more emotional than I thought and now I'm not cool with it, but I did agree to it. And it was a new world for me going into like really liking someone and then being like, great, well, let's make TV together. So I think at that point too.
And I still can't kiss anybody in a movie now. So she's not,
I saw that
yeah,
clip.
yeah.
I saw that clip. Those days are done.
Yeah, like,
That-
no,
no,
more
yeah.
scenes.
I've never watched you kiss somebody, so
I haven't
thankfully-
kissed
is there
anybody
that scene?
ever.
Have I not?
So you're not going to be able to look at somebody.
No,
Fla-
I'm-
flowers
talk to her.
at
Advice, you need
flowers
We're
at
talking
Pinkberry
about
with
in
Audrina was pushing
my
it.
That
acting
was-
career. I actually have a meeting with it. I told you. I got to email him.
I'll
back.
be there.
I love that.
So I think for her also, it started being like, wait, there were a few factors. So I can see that she really did like him until they were done. Then it went into the chapter of us making TV and her not liking that also and being like, this is my show.
She's like a storyline.
Do you think she felt threatened of the two of you kind of as a unit? Like maybe scared of the star power that was about to shine down on her?
Well, I think it was the first time it switched from her not having the Ace storyline too. So I do see that point, and she was very strategic with like, here's my storyline and here's what I'm doing. And I just think she wanted me to be single with her and was like done with it.
Heidi was a
You know.
great single.
It was a great
Frickin'
woman.
You have a
She
fun
was-
time. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can
Really
really
fun,
when
you
you're in a
know.
relationship, though.
I was
I think-
too,
Heidi, I think she needed Heidi to collect the gentleman. Heidi was like kind of.
Wait,
I'm not an escort.
No, I mean, I was thinking more pimp. Like, I was thinking
Okay,
more
okay.
I
pimp.
definitely, I guess I got paid through a show. I don't know.
I mean,
Wait, would she be the type? Because
she would rally. I could see her rallying,
'Cause
like, come to our table.
There are
type,
people that
you know.
do that, where it's like the friend's out and it's like you are flirting with someone and they sit down with you and they're like, "Hi, was that her energy?" Don't love that. I'll say that. I don't
She
love
had a
that.
lot of different energies. We'll just, but we were best friends, and we did have, we just got back to being best friends because she was in a relationship before for a year, and I didn't see her, for a long time, but I was always like, I'm here for you. I'm your best friend. It's not my place to like judge your relationship or to jump in or whatever. So, anyways, when it was her turn to like reciprocate that, it just wasn't. I was like, God, no.
I think that when people rewatch The Hills now, like I've seen this a lot on social media, they're like, wait, Heidi gave her the space, grace, time, and place to figure out what she was doing with Spencer. I mean, to figure out what she was doing with Jason, but Lauren didn't give that to you in regards to Spencer, which just seems so unfair now. And it's weird because I feel like back in the day when those first seasons were airing, like no one saw that. Like, why didn't anyone see that?
It was like a cult following of Lauren at the time too. Yeah. Like it was this veil of like, you love Lauren and that's it, and you just people were just so obsessed with her.
Almost.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's like
from Laguna,
what's
right?
Like, what's it? Not like like Rent a Swiftie, like
the bootleg?
Is Elsie the bootleg?
No, what's the term? Like there's like that's like a hip term. What do they say when you're like
a cheater?
I like you're doing hip term while doing like a jazz square.
What is it? Yeah, she was the dupe Elsie or dupe Swiftie
not
Elsie.
Like dupe Swift.
Dupe Conrad.
It was wow. It was definitely dupe vibe.
Well,
so people were like obsessed with her from Laguna, and so nobody wanted to see another side, and she was narrating it. So I don't know. There was like these Lauren goggles on, and I never really got it either. I was like, I am being nothing but a good friend here to her. So it's like, well, what matters at the end of the day is just our relationship, right? And so I dealt with Jason and so much crazy stuff for over a year living with him. And she couldn't even deal with Spencer for 2 months.
And I didn't even get to be crazy yet. You know, I had like 4 seasons, so I had like she didn't even meet me in season 6.
So like, she was just like over it.
Both your best friends that we know and love from back in the day, Lauren for you, Brody for you, were you like aware of their proximity to fame, and did you pursue those friendships knowing that it could sort of be an entryway for you into famehood?
So I met Lauren my first day of school at the Academy of Art University. Have you heard this story?
Yeah. Well, I know that's where you met, but had you seen Laguna? Were you?
No, so it wasn't out yet. It was like just coming out, and there was this.
Oh, so you're the real deal.
So there was a rumor that this girl from MTV was going to be there, and then I had only seen shows that it could possibly be like Made, or the only thing was the Newlyweds.
Room Raiders. Yeah. Maybe she was on Room Raiders.
So I was like, she's gonna be such a loser. No, like whatever, you know. And then
she could have been on Real World, and you loved Real World.
Right, I did. So so they wouldn't tell us the show, and there was just like a girl's gonna be filming, and we're like no one was really interested in it because it was fashion school, and everyone's interested in Vogue and like models and famous things, the Olsen twins at the time or whatever, were like the fashion icons at the time. So I met her the first day of class, and we sat down together, and then like a few weeks later or whatever, she's like, I'm going to VMAs, and I was like, how do you get to go? You must be so rich. Like, who's bringing? I want to go. And she's like, oh, I'm on the show. And I was like, you're that girl. I thought you were going to be such a loser. Like, oh my gosh. And we were friends, and we became friends, and she moved after like 2 months. She's like, I hate San Francisco. I can't be here. And I was like, it was hard. It was really hard.
You're like, I hate it too. Let's go to Laguna.
Yeah.
So you have you're rich and you have a TV show?
Yeah. You're like, what's our check back around?
But that was it, right?
I don't need to pack. I don't have any clothes.
That was the end of Laguna. Like, it was wrapping up, and she's like, oh, I'm going to be back in the summer. Do you want to live with me in the summer? And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, we're still going to film a few episodes. Do you want to be on it? And I was like, great. And then she started talking about the Hills spinoff, and she's like, would you want to be on it with me? And the producer, Adam Devell, was like, no, we don't want Heidi. I want you to move by yourself. And she's like, she fought for me, and she's like, no, I'm not doing the show without Heidi. This is my real life best friend, and she's living with me, and I'm not comfortable going to live by myself or with a stranger.
Yeah, but he wanted to cast, hookers that he, could have sex with. Allegedly.
A little exchange.
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm just saying that's what I would, his character.
He's like, no,
just kidding. Adam, you want to come on the podcast? No, I just feel like, according to Christine Quinn, based off of those things I've heard, it seems like he didn't want to Heidi because,
So then what about Brody?
That's all allegations, to be clear. I watched Suits as a total made up. I'm not Lewis.
So then what about Brody for you? Like, were you aware of his sort of celebrity lineage? I know that you love celebrity culture.
Yeah, so Brody and I went to middle school together, and my beef with Brody, I've said before, started on the bus, and we had the first little incident, little shoving match. And then years later, when I was like 17, this girl that I wasn't dating her or seeing her or anything, but she was interested in me, and I
You did
was.
not kiss her.
Of course, I'm not a big kisser. I didn't kiss.
I would think you kiss her.
Yeah. So I actually heard that this is then Brody's girlfriend. And I asked her, I was like, do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, yeah, I didn't think you would care. I'm like, whoa. Oh, okay. But I don't play that game. So I call him up, my former nemesis from middle school. And I said, I think we should meet at Don Antonio's. I have something to tell you in person.
Sacred ground, by the way.
So I go there and I was like, just so you know, I heard this is your girlfriend, this blah, blah, blah. And so then, out of like a teen movie, we both start making plans with her and canceling and can do it, just getting a little bit like a little revenge of like, oh, meet you here and nothing, no. So we became, really close friends then.
I love that you guys made a reality show before being on reality.
Wait, I know. You were
I'm
like,
oh,
already
okay,
doing
meet
it.
boys.
Like, we have to meet. Hi, are you free? We have to have a conversation. No, it has to be in person.
So then you realize who his parents are, and you're like,
No. So rewind. Back then, if you ask Brody, like to this day, like who his stepdad was, he would say he made elevator music. I had no clue until I watched the Netflix documentary on David Foster, which I wish I watched when I was like 17 to like appreciate being around him. But Brody talks so much smack that I thought he was just like really good at. He's like, every elevator you hear that music, that's how he gets paid. Which I'm like, dang, that's a good business. There's a lot of there's a lot of elevators. So
he works with a bodyguard.
Yeah, and then so when I went to college, I saw the Osbournes on, and I don't know, it was like the internet maybe just hit because that's how old I am. And I remember seeing the Osbournes got $20 million for this. I'm like, this is the smallest house I've ever seen compared to Brody's house, and David yells way more than Ozzy Osbourne. So I call up Brody. I'm like, can I make a reality show about you? And he's like, what? We need to go to dinner. So we go to P.F. Chang's when P.F. Chang's first was popping. Yeah. It was like Mr. Chow's before Mr. Chow's. So we go there, and shout out Chuck DeCoo. Was like, Chuck was in it. Brody wasn't really feeling it. And Chuck's like, you got to let him do it. Like, you have the best. Like, this is it. And he's like, if you come to my house tomorrow morning with a camera, you can make a show. So it's the earliest I ever woke up in my life. Now I wake up early, and I was in his face at 7 a.m. filming. So no, I didn't know his parents. I didn't even know Bruce Jenner had not been around. I didn't even know he had another dad. So also there's no, like, Google barely was popping off. Yeah. Like, you couldn't be like Brody's dad. So I knew he was rich. He had the biggest house in Malibu, and that's it. So rich. I was filming a rich person.
Right. But you grew up with only rich people, right?
Yeah, like I went to
so it wasn't anything for Spencer to be like, oh, he has a big mansion. He's on like jets and
so
Well, I love to hear that both of those friendships started out in like really genuine places, and it kind of makes sense with the Heidi and Spencer that we see today. I think some people would assume like the sort of like how to be famous, fame hungry, attention hungry Spidey of the early 2000s would have been cognizant of their friends' adjacency to fame, but it started out in genuine, pure places, and that feels good.
Well, my ego, I was the famous person. Like you gotta be clear. Like Brody was he just had more toys for us to film. Like I was,
you're like, nice to
meet
you.
I'm gonna put you on with me.
Yeah.
Like let me bring you under my wing type thing. It wasn't like me. I'm gonna like tag on. And Brody will say this like I was like, let's go. Let's use any access you have. But it was in summer school. I was telling people I'd be on the cover of Us Weekly at Colin McEwen. So
again, manifestation.
Yeah, like it was not like I didn't need, somebody to like cling on to. Like it was happening. I just went too low. I should have gone to like acting school and like.
Because he grew up with like Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
and
Jonah Hill was in my class.
Goldstein,
like he's nominated for 2 Oscars, like respectably. Like
DM Jonah next too.
I would love to get Jonah on to talk about that ex. Jonah, we could go off about that. What are your takes on that ex? Because I read all of her texts and
read everything.
I think if I talk like that to Heidi, she'd be like, "I'm loving this communication." Heidi would love it if I talk like that.
I feel like it was kind of. I feel like if he goes to the reunions of your school, it'd be an awkward high school reunion for him. Or
No, they love him. His friends love. That's so not like that. It's a small class, and they're all best friends.
They're all that
he's
tight.
like they love.
He's still working with all of them.
Okay, because
I'm the outsider. Because
who else is in the circle with him?
Yeah, I don't want to start name dropping. I'll really won't be invited to anything. I'm already not invited enough, But all these people are power players because of their parents. Like, shout out, my dad was a dentist. I love, that's amazing. But everybody else's parents were in the industries. Jonah's dad was the biggest business manager for the entertainment business. Jonah was Dustin Hoffman's Manny for his kids, and that's how he got in that first
Nepo
movie.
Baby.
I love Nepo babies because I grew up with all Nepo babies.
I feel a dentist could be a sneaky way to do it because while the celebrity is about to get a cavity out, it's like, wait, can I just stop you and ask you for a little favor? And they're in
you put my son in it. My dad blew it.
Not like
my
that.
dad should have been like
He's
that.
like,
wait, but I like you.
He wasn't a Beverly Hills dentist.
Okay, that's okay. I like you saying that you were manifesting Us Weekly covers and everything like that. When you were manifesting this fame, when you started filming, were you kind of like, okay, I want to channel this level of Spencer? Did you know you wanted to kind of have that villain moment? Because it's funny now, because watching back, I don't see villain, but in that time it was.
Well, I did the Prince of Malibu first, and initially it was real when I was just filming it, and then when the production company came in, they're like, oh no, Spencer needs to be in and be the
the troublemaker.
What's a heel?
Yeah,
like
the Eddie Haskell.
Like a foil. Because every
Jonah Hill scored the foil.
Yeah. So and I was like, do I still get my executive producer title? Yeah, I didn't get the second you pass that bridge, it's a wrap for ever having.
Spencer was 20. He's one of the youngest producers in the history.
So
incredible.
So that experience of doing only fake reality television with the Fox. And having David Foster now he loves me because initially he hated me because I was always filming him and like, get the F out of my house. And now he's like, I'm the first person to put him on TV. So now he's giving me game and he's like, Spencer, you need to be Simon Cowell. And I'm like, who? And I wasn't watching American Idol. He's like, you need to be the bad guy. Everyone loves the bad guy. He blew it by telling me no, I should have tried to be the hero. It looks a lot more fun in retrospect. A lot more brand opportunities.
Still on all those shows,
but he has a talent attached to him, right? And it's his show, so that's different too. He came on as the producer and in charge of that dynamic and with a purpose.
So yeah,
right. So the purpose is to make success and to make that star. But when you're
we just got a phone call from one of the top nightlife guys. Shout out Nick from back in the day. He just called the other night and he was drinking. And he's like, I'm with blah, blah, blah. We're just talking about how we remember everything you said you were going to do before you did it. The master plan. So there's people that do witness that. I went out to be the most hated person and succeeded. So it was like a goal.
Was there a pivotal moment that you guys remember having a conversation saying okay, we're going to commit to being villains together. This is going to be our thing, or did
No, I never wanted to be a villain.
Your look what you made me do moment, if you will.
That is out of my wheelhouse. That is not
our first time we were in a magazine was the Yucca meter, and I cut it out and put it on the wall, and Heidi's like, what are you doing?
I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm like, we made it in a tabloid. We made it.
Yeah, but so no, I just loved Spencer, and I was just in for the ride, and I'm like, all right, well, if this is the route it's going, I'm like a ride or die.
Sounds like a hostage.
She's like, so we put her in the back of the van, and we pulled up to studios today. What year is it?
What's that syndrome? She's got Stockholm. She's got Crescent Butte syndrome.
She's holding us up so we know what day.
I'm in for the ride.
No, so I wasn't, but I risked everything for the love of Spencer, right? Because Lauren was like, if you're going to be off the show and you're done. And when she said goodbye to me in the car, season 2, that was it. She thought I was off the show. She told everyone she wasn't going to keep filming if I was on it anymore. And I was like, well, what is life without love. Like I would never feel good.
What are you writing songs
Yeah.
over there?
Life without
Is
love.
that Celine Dion?
So I was like, this is something I'd always regret because I'm just a person who will follow my heart and what I think is right. Like I don't want anyone telling me what to do because they don't know what's right for me, you know? So I was like, well, if I have a friend who's saying this or that, then that's not the person I want to be my friend because that's not someone I would want in my life anyways. Like I would never tell anybody what to do.
When Lauren was saying you're going to be off the show, was she bluffing or was that like, were you seriously
She
off
didn't
the
say
show?
it to me.
Oh.
So she like stopped talking to me and like iced me out and was like really uncomfortable on camera. And it was just like, she wouldn't talk to me. And I would really try to be like, what is going on? Like, talk to me, you know, like I'm your real friend. Like what, I know we're on a show, but still like, so I didn't know it was getting that bad. And then she like started hanging out with Adrena and I'm like, okay, but
That was
I was
your
friends
friend,
with Adrena.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you're the one who told me we're not cool with Adrena and now you're hanging out with Adrena. So like became this whole thing, but I was willing to risk it all because I knew I'd really regret because of how I felt for Spencer. And thankfully it all played out because Spencer's plan was not to come on and to fall in love with me and to go away with me. He had a solo plan, you know, like that was a one-man show.
I didn't
over
have
there.
an end game.
Well, it wasn't a beginning game.
I didn't plot out the future.
But you weren't like, I'm going to go on and
I definitely
fall in love with
wasn't going to be
Heidi.
like, I'm going to go get married.
Yeah.
That wasn't like, wasn't in the
Right.
schedule. But
Did you
I didn't go and be like, I'm going to like go on and not be with you. There wasn't that.
Well, yeah, there wasn't either.
Yeah.
But-
So that whole like Whitney, like in the finale, he's going to dump you. Like that was never said.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said,
We're clearing things
Whatever.
up.
that would have ended my rating.
Like
though,
when you go
we're
on your
like-
YouTube channel and say, now,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And I know you've had pasta before. Okay, Whitney, I don't
Wait,
care
okay,
what
wait,
the
do you- Can we
texture
talk
is.
Do you have thoughts
that
on her
journey?
No, I'm not going down the rabbit
but
hole.
just the
but
pasta.
the pasta,
Yeah.
that's a pure lie. How you can't be on Earth and not have had pasta.
I didn't yeah. 'cause
Look, I like Whitney, but she has literally made up things where I'm like, I was there and that never happened. So, like, do I know if that happened or not? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
But I
just-
have witnessed things where I'm like, you just totally made that up. Like,
like makes them up to make her look better or to like throw someone under the
yeah.
bus.
Or there's
no,
people that
I've-
just
you know.
are
Wait,
She's
dehydrated.
creative.
what about
Yeah,
that? Wait,
dehydrated.
because isn't she the one with the Leonardo DiCaprio thing? Where she was
Wasn't
like,
she?
he looked at me once at a club and I turned him down. And I'm like, okay, Whitney, I've
Like, Kevin Swinnapole was behind you.
me
and,
too. Actually,
Yeah.
Leo and I had a Halloween party, and he took his mask off.
I turned my phone off because he won't stop texting. I'm like, Leo, I'm at work. Yeah.
At 9 Sandra Pay this weekend.
I gotta do
Okay.
more quotes like that though. That's like
do go viral.
Yeah,
They
like,
go
I need to be.
viral.
I need. To
I
be
know
saying
she's
something.
promoting the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
so
like
maybe, you know.
this.
But
it got me going. I'm like,
I do
pasta?
hope that whatever, you know, like I do in real honesty hope that she can find time to eat
No,
whatever it
whoa,
is, you know.
We gotta let's not comment on that.
Okay, well, I'm just
Hot
saying.
take.
But I'm happy
That's
that
a hot take.
because her husband is handsome, and I'm happy that he like called, like not called her out, but was kind of like alerted her.
Yeah.
You know, I'm busy running around, so I get, you know,
Yeah.
busy. So
Yeah, I wish I was that
I was
busy.
gonna say-
I need that problem.
I know,
I
right?
wish I didn't like the texture of a
I
lot
have
of
a lot of
foods.
things
Wait,
for
can I-
you to do.
Can I go get hypnotized and
Even
not
if I
like
don't like a texture of
pasta?
food, I'm like, well, it's in my mouth now.
I don't know what that
I
tasted
might-
like.
Yeah.
It's like, I actually didn't feel anything. It's
That's
gone.
why I eat so much, because I didn't feel anything.
But-
During the first iteration of The Hills, did you guys collaborate with producers or did they just kind of like throw you to the wolves or like what was that process like?
It was a tiny underlining of scriptedness, but not with relationships, you know? So they would be like, are you okay with crashing Lauren's Teen Vogue party? And I'm like, yeah,
hell
great.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, do I walk on the red carpet behind? Like, cool. And then afterwards, Lauren would be like, did you watch the episode? Are you okay with how you're seen? And I'm like, I'm on TV.
You're like, I
Are we-
smashed it.
Yeah, I'm
And I went to the
Oh,
Teen
yeah.
Vogue party, girl. I'm good.
I'm like, I did
Oh,
my own
yeah.
hair and it looks awesome. So are we speaking the same language here?
Yeah.
Because I don't think so. So
God, I wish I had filmed that scene.
I
Heidi,
was
look
like,
at Heidi's face. She's probably
I literally was like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
I wasn't like, are we supposed to be crafting? You looked really good when you said that. Like, I was not.
I'm
on
like,
that.
babe, you had to wear a walkie-talkie in your scene. Are you happy?
Yeah.
I'm like, I looked official. Totally. Looked like an adult. Pretty cool.
Do you guys remember the first time you got papped? And what did it
Ooh.
feel like?
I think one of the first times that I got papped is when Spencer called it on Brody and us and Lauren at the Grove at this
At the movie theater.
At the movie theater, I think
And
that
Lauren
was the
was
first time.
so mad. I called the paparazzi. I was like,
What?
But she was like happy after.
so mad.
She's like, oh
and
my gosh, like
she's
pulling
like,
her
oh
sweater
my
over.
God.
Spencer's
It's
like
not me.
pulling off. That's why I called them. Like, let them see your face.
Yeah, because they're still gonna use a photo, but then they're just gonna be like.
She's like, but I think this is what I'm supposed to do to look cool. Like, do I, you know? Yeah.
You're like, babe, smile.
Big teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first. That was also when she started like, wait, I don't like this. Like he's masterminding
Right.
over me, and like I have an agent and a manager.
Right. Like she was very
She's
methodical
a
and
pro.
serious
like,
about
yeah, this girl.
lines that she said, everything she did. She'd get in arguments with the producers. She talked to him sometimes like
Her only
shocking.
mistake.
Like, oh my gosh, you'll talk to him like that. Good for you. Say this for me. Like, no, Adam, I am not. I'd be like, whoa, yeah. Ditto, I'm on her team, you know, until a
Wow.
turn, and then like you're on the other side. It's not
That's
good.
interesting. Okay, well then Lauren wasn't featured in many setup shots thereafter,
Yeah.
but the setup shots just kept
So
coming,
good.
and they were amazing, and they were
So
beautiful.
iconic, the chair.
We're gonna start bringing them back.
You
I've
need to.
I've just been trying to get in
Please.
better shape because I've been body shamed a lot, so I've been
What?
insecure.
Okay, well, F those body shamers.
Yes, no, but it's a lot to handle, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
sensitive, HSP.
Right.
So once I have a six pack and I'm wearing a no shirt every day, we're gonna do a lot
Heidi
of
can
setups.
sit on you while you're doing
Yeah,
push-ups
we're
again.
bringing that
and
back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a
That's
cane.
good.
I'm gonna have a cane.
Well, last time I was pregnant sitting on him, he's like, whoa, like,
You were like,
broken
That's
his
why my
yeah.
back.
You pulled your butt
Oh,
running up the
yeah.
hill. You might be like,
It's like, oh.
So we're gonna rebrand and then get back in the game.
I do love that, but for like our listeners who don't understand how that works, can you just sort of summarize the creative process behind the setup shots? When you call the paparazzi, do they know what the setup
that's a
is?
chain
Like,
now.
yeah, and it probably has changed so much now. By
Yeah,
the way.
you have to provide your own props now. Budget cuts, inflation. Before they would
Recession.
they would bring their own props, and we'd talk about what the props, and they'd go prop shop in for, the theme. If it was bunny ears for Easter, they'd bring the bunny ears. Now we're expected to bring the bunny
production.
ears.
Well, it's when we changed agencies. So we had this one agency that PCN.
The
and-
original setup, they started it.
Right. So it was this British company, and they brought all the props, and they, even like rented a boat for us, and like did all this stuff. Yeah, the boat.
They didn't
boat
rent a
had
captain. we
and it had
we
no
cried.
Gilligan's Island.
We
a 3-hour
cried.
tour.
It definitely was maybe.
A stolen boat.
but that's a story.
Yeah, it was all a story.
There's some great
The
photos. out of it.
paparazzi setups.
Don't
were
do the
always,
Titanic photo op on a stolen, no captain
literally-
boat.
With it literally sinking.
And it
Very-
hit another
we
boat.
hit a boat.
Not us. We weren't steering it, but whoever
one
was
was.
on
But
it.
just don't be on the front of a boat when
Yeah.
it hits.
It's
So-
like David Foster's yacht you hit, and she's
Yeah.
like, hi.
Yeah, like so they would bring the setups and everything, and that's when no A-list or like these big stars were seen out all the time. So us doing it made a good photo, and we always wore colorful colors and
Yeah.
what would be good for a magazine. But now it's really different because you have everybody posing like in these cheesy setups on their own Instagram.
You
So
literally
the
now have to
industry's
like take a
gone.
pap shot on a porta potty, like
Yeah.
Jen Aniston's pooping like at the park.
Just
With
like
the
us.
Beano.
Yeah, like, with smart water, having freaking collagen powder.
Does
It's just gotten so like just
Diluted.
thirsty. Like we can't even be Z-list anymore because the A-list does the Z-list content. It's like leave some scraps here. Like you couldn't even do a herpy ad now because you got, George Clooney would do it. Like I'm just saying, like it's like if the check's right, they are taking everything now.
And it is funny because I feel like now with social media, a lot of the A-listers are doing things that before, and I feel like Busy Phillips was the person who really talked so much about kind of changing that conversation, because people would be like, why are you doing an Instagram ad, Busy? You're an actress. She's like, because it's paying more than my last 2 TV shows. Like,
Right.
why would I not do that?
Right.
We're
and-
busy. She
and
sure had it went.
And she
We
was-
should get her on to talk
She was
about
busy
that.
tonight, then not so busy.
Wasn't
We
she
should-
a fan of you?
She was very positive.
And also, she loves crystals.
because
Yes.
of Kelly
is that
Oxford
what?
was her
Kelly
writer.
Oxford, that's
so
right.
Kelly invited on the podcast. She said she can't talk about something, but then she'll come talk
Oh,
about
I
something.
love Kat. She's so
She's
funny.
very smart.
Yeah.
I wish she hadn't shout out her Patreon or once people go behind paywalls, I'm like, I miss a lot of content, because it's like I can't keep up with all these subscribers.
I can't. I'm like, there's too
You
many
gotta
things.
save them.
Yeah, no,
Can't subscribe.
Yeah.
My apps take them all
Can I
up.
get-
Sorry.
Can I get a freebie? I love you. A like and comment.
Or like, can you just call me and read it so we can catch up? Yeah.
With the pap shots that are happening today, I think that there are a few people who are like having fun with it. I think of like Emrata in New York City. She's walking her dog. She's like pulling her shirt up. She's posing. She's doing her thing. We also
The eyebrows of Spencer.
wait. Also, who's the hot chef who's like walking around LA?
Jeremy Allen White?
Yeah, with his like model girlfriend
Oh.
Ashley Moore. I
Well,
feel like
shout out to her, his ex-wife that he hasn't divorced while being in that new relationship. But I saw them all together, so it's good they all get along and co-parent.
Oh, really? They had a
That's-
little
that's
baton
good.
toss?
They had a meeting. I saw at least.
Is there anyone that you think is currently doing a good job when it comes to the pap shots of it all? Like anyone that sticks out, or is everyone losing?
You
You're
know,
like, no
Your
one was
eyes
doing it
about
like us.
Emrata.
I
I'm
think
curious
the
about the
winners
Emrata vibes.
are the Royals. They do
Oh.
it so
William
well.
and Kate.
Yeah, William
they
and
have
Kate.
consistent, clean.
They always have the
Great.
perfect shot.
So
they have the perfect
smart.
look. They do the family. They do the public. Like they're the picture perfect
They
setup.
they have the firm that if Harry and Meghan had played the game, they wouldn't be getting their Spotify deal canceled. Okay, let me just say let's just put some facts in. You don't bail the PR company that's been doing it for 300 years. The PR company that like invades countries and like makes it look clean, lies about nukes and like it's all good. But yeah, they blew that one.
Wait, but Megan just like I think like officially has an Instagram now.
I tried to find it. It's like it's not
like
verified.
Megan
But now
with a flower or something. What do you guys think her Insta energy is gonna be?
she should just do recaps of Suits at this point because like
She's
it
at
is-
Jose Banks like.
I
"So,
didn't
guys,
know until yesterday on TikTok that the whole Suits cast went to the wedding. That looked
Yes.
so fun.
I think she's gonna do very Martha Stewart. I think she's gonna be in her garden. She's gonna be with the kids. She's gonna have like that, very candid.
She's like, don't you hate
yet-
when your tomatoes too ripe? And you're
right,
like, what?
right,
Yeah.
and look
I was
away
just thinking, what is
gently.
she gonna grow?
Yeah, so
She's just gonna be growing weed. She's like,
She seems
this.
very
I'm
methodical.
actually not smoking this. I'm getting the CBN, not the CBD out of this.
We need to get her in the mom chat. Meghan Markle.
I did see Prince Harry,
And he waved at
Where?
you.
and he waved at Gunner. I
Did
would
he?
think.
He winked at you.
He definitely waved
winked
at
at-
Gunner.
Where'd you see him?
Very
Prince
nicely.
Harry may have been one
It
of
was like
Heidi's
this.
OnlyFans subscribers.
Wait, where?
This
That's
is
what Whitney Port
blasphemy.
told me.
Wait,
Okay.
Where does Heidi run into Prince Harry?
It was in
It's
it was
private,
in
it's
Santa
private.
Barbara.
It's-
Okay.
Oh,
Like
that's
they
where
have
Katy
a
Perry lives, right?
yeah.
They were poaching or house
Yeah.
squatting. What are they doing?
We have a
they were
mutual
grifting.
I don't know, friend,
It's
acquaintance.
grifting, right?
Oh,
You have a mutual
ooh.
acquaintance.
Well,
with
no,
Prince
now they
Harry?
don't talk to us anymore because
I
You're
said
like-
acquaintance.
You're like, we
not
don't mutual
friend.
acquaintance.
We used to be
Until
invited
they
to the
came.
parties. We're not
She
anymore.
died. Queen Elizabeth.
So since they came in play, we've been disinvited.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, they bumped
actually-
you out of the
yeah,
top 8?
yeah.
We weren't top 8. We were definitely like top 100.
No, MySpace you could do 32 at one time.
No, I
Oh.
just meant like we were way down the list. Like we
Wait,
weren't like
I feel
close
you guys are more fun
friends,
at a party
but
than Harry and Meghan.
We were a lot of fun.
We'd be
at these
really
parties.
fun. We were fun.
But isn't that also kind of iconic
That's
that
true.
you were even in that situation to be
Bumped by Meghan Markle.
bumped just one notch
Thanks for
down by
bumping me,
Meghan?
Megan.
Yeah,
the
it's an
problem with-
honor.
What's so weird, as I always say, that I feel like the actual clean fame, as we'll call it, the like, oh, I'm pretending I'm not thirsty, like fame people, they tend to like, I would imagine, not want us around because we're like the desperate ones that are, oh, what are we gonna film you? We're gonna snap. It's like now everyone is doing TikTok, Snapchat,
Yeah.
so it's like that whole thing that like that stigma that was attached to us. I don't get.
like looking down
like-
on us.
Like you are us.
Right.
You just like maybe get a bigger check, but you are as desperate, especially now, like because
Like
it's
everyone's at
way
an
more.
event for the same reason. You
Yeah.
didn't just come for a pig in a blanket.
Yeah. it's-
You came to be photographed.
So
and get talked to.
that's always
right,
the most
right.
frustrating thing is like, do you not see us in the mirror? Like, because we're just maybe not on, as high on you as the totem pole of, respectability of cloud, but it's like you are just a
I feel
desperate,
you-
thirsty fame whore also.
You guys
whoa,
must have
whoa, hey,
had-
go.
Yeah, F you, A-listers.
Yeah.
Wait, but what A-listers have you guys bumped into, like, maybe even recently that you're like, oh, your energy, calm the hell down.
Kevin Costner, but I almost fainted. It was such a powerful aura.
He can have
Really?
it.
You can have
Yeah,
that.
he deserved it.
He
I was
deserves
like,
it, probably.
don't take me to the train station.
When you were at the height of the Hills fame back in the day, what were some of the A-listers that you ran into who you had good experiences with, and then also some that you were like, oh, you're not a fan of Spidey? What?
The best person ever is Rihanna. She is.
She loves reality TV too.
She
Yes.
was so great at the VMAs or MTV Movie Awards. I don't remember what it was. She came up behind. We were both behind the scenes and on the golf carts because we were I don't know what we were doing back there. Something. And she ran up and gave me a hug. She ran up and gave me a hug and said, "You look so beautiful." And I was like, oh my gosh! And in the back, and then I started singing Disturbia as we were going away.
Can you rewind and tell the backstory
What
to
was
you
the
meeting
backstory?
her? So I had been listening to Disturbia, and like I was like, "This is a hit." I'm just going Disturbia.
I was
I'm
like, it's
you
not
know,
my favorite.
and Heidi was not feeling it.
Okay,
And then right after Rihanna tells her how beautiful she is, she's like, Disturbia. She like didn't stop singing Disturbia for like a month.
Wait, this song.
And I was like, it
I
sure
did.
hits now,
I was like,
honey.
favorite song ever. But I love all her other songs. Huge Rihanna fan.
Yeah, but
love
that one,
Rihanna. And she was, it wasn't my favorite of all the ones, but I love her. She's
Another
the
mom
sweetest,
chatting.
nicest. Put him on.
Didn't we meet Will Smith and he was so nice?
Yeah, Will Smith was so
Yeah, I
nice.
love
He was
that.
great.
Yeah.
Probably had no idea who we were.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you signature?
Fans?
Yeah. Bye. He was.
You're
so
like, but I
nice.
would have loved if like he signed it and then you signed your name back. You're like, oh my god, Will.
Oh, Jonas Brothers are so nice. They held.
We met them
Gunner.
recently. That wasn't peak
Yeah.
fame.
Yeah.
That was Reboot.
Okay.
Doug
but, I love,
Cameron.
but that's kind of
Doug
iconic.
Cameron's
You both
great.
are like, you both
she's
started
a
out at the
sweet
same
girl.
time.
And then they
now still-
rebooted it.
Yeah,
they
they
got
rebooted.
rebooted. Their reboot worked a little better.
Yeah. They full on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just kind of. I did like that they came back together because they were all doing their own thing, and I feel Kevin's like, come on, guys.
I loved that show.
That show is so good.
Yeah, with Kevin and Danielle.
Yes.
Yes.
I love Danielle Jones. I'm like,
I
she's
love
like
her.
kind of like weirdly like my favorite.
Should get
Jonas
her on the
wife.
podcast.
Me too, because she's the OG one,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
And she's like the, not normal one, but,
but
like
like-
the, yeah.
The
me
one
too.
because it's like
My
she's
favorite.
like there with her jewelry. She's like, so I'm at dinner with Priyanka and Sophie, and what do I like? I feel she has to just be like,
I
I
haven't
want to know like
s-
her journey and mentally
Yeah.
to get to that.
Yeah,
I haven't
I
seen
really
a
like
Sophie content with Joe. Or is it Nick? Which one is she with?
Joe.
I haven't seen Sophie and Joe content in a minute.
What's
Maybe
going
they're-
on? Let's
Am I wrong?
Let's
Am I
investigate.
Maybe
wrong?
like she's with Jeremy Allen White too.
Yeah. She loved that show, The Chef. Have you guys watched that show?
No.
It's really good. In Fast Forward.
Yeah. Well,
No, for real. No, I watched all the shows in Fast Forward. I don't have free time.
no, you don't. Actually, we got to wrap this up, and I just kind of want
Have
to like,
Heidi wrap it up.
Wait,
for
hold
you.
on. I'm just making sure Abby's there because the street was shut down and she wasn't sure she was gonna get there. So I'm just making sure.
Heidi is momming in
Momming.
action, guys.
Mama
This
Jar.
is-
Are
yes.
you there? Okay.
You guys started out as these infamous reality TV villains. I feel like the tide has obviously shifted. You are reality TV heroes, at least in our eyes. When did you feel that shift take place? What do you think got you there? And how happy are you that you are celebrated in a different way in 2023?
I don't think it's fully there.
Yeah, my
Like,
comment
I
section
really
would
appreciate you saying
disagree.
Ah,
You have a different algorithm, I think.
you must not read my comments.
Yeah.
People will catch up. They caught up to I'll do it. They'll catch up with
I
me
would
again.
say it's more fair than it's ever been. And we finally have like some appreciation in fans, which is great. And we've done a lot of shows, and I think that was helpful too. Like we did Marriage Boot Camp, we did Big Brother. Like we have been on the most reality TV since for the cast. I think that was also great because people could see us in a different way, in a different environment, and different interactions. And there still just is that cult following that's brainwashed or just love, whatever it is, of, you know, Lauren in that time. And that's fine too. But thank you for saying that.
But I feel like you've probably turned a lot of fans. Like, have you had experiences where someone was like very much Team Lauren back in the day, and then they come to you years later and make it known, like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Now I'm Team Spidey. I totally get it.
On my Snapchat all the time.
Snapchat a lot.
Okay.
People are like, oh my gosh, I love Lauren, and now I love you. And I'm like,
You
keep
can
watching.
love us both.
Heidi Montag!
Shop
Yeah.
Well, we will watch you forever. I
Thank
hope
you.
the 16th minute seriously turns into the 100th minute. I truly,
60 minutes, 120 minutes, all the
yes,
minutes.
like
yes.
Thank you.
you two are destined to live famously ever after, and
having
we love
fun
that
while
for
doing
you.
it.
Yes.
Because that's the best
Totally.
part. Yeah.
Taking that. And please check out our Snapchats. Mine is Heidi Montag. All my handles are Heidi Montag. Check it out, especially my Snapchat. It's our reality show.
Yes. And stream Superficial.
It's streams
Oh.
official.
I'll say it till I'm blue in the
Please.
face.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
This was
you.
great.
You know, as much as this is a podcast, this is also a platform to us to figure out actually how to become relevant again, get a 16th minute past this podcast, actually be famous-ish. What would you suggest for Heidi and I in the media, ideas? How are we going to extend our level of notoriety?
I think my idea is that Bethany had a lot of success, not with Rachel Raquel, but she had a lot of success with Jill Zarin. So if there is a way we can get Lauren Conrad on this podcast, that would certainly break the internet for sure. And then if that doesn't work out, I'm
What's the other plan?
Can we get an impersonator?
oh, or that actually would be really funny.
I'll wear Kim Zolcia's wig and be Lauren.
Because
that's an idea.
We could get LC Dupe.
Yeah, she could say sorry to me.
My plan B though.
Yeah, plan B. Let's hear plan B.
Plan B is a tour of the gay clubs across the country performing your music. I know that China is a big lift and getting there with the kids is a big lift, but like maybe we could just do like a West Coast tour of the gay clubs, you know, San Francisco, LA. Like I think that could be really fun. And I don't know if people know this, but like you're the wraparound body language. So you're on stage too.
That's true.
You know, someone's got to hold this baby off stage.
He's going to be in his crib. I have said a gay club tour would absolutely be
I'm at every show.
You just can't start drinking until after the show.
Right.
No, I don't know. They might.
Because I like to turn up.
Because we got to get you onto the stage.
And I do feel like because you guys are Swifties, I have two ideas. I think both are more attainable than Evan's first one.
Okay.
You create, because one of the biggest, like, everyone is talking about Ozempic. You create your own brand of Ozempic.
I feel like the lawsuits are...
Yeah.
But that keeps you relevant.
People getting sued.
I think the gay club tour might be a little easier than that.
I'll take it. But we have Hydroxycut. Maybe you just need a
that's true.
spin-off version.
Wait, and also...
an injectable Hydroxycut.
Yes, and while you do that on Instagram Live, call out or question why Olivia Rodrigo is like kind of distancing herself from Taylor a little bit.
Who is she?
Should I do the TikTok?
Now you're gonna get some. Who is she?
No, she's younger. Than
I think
you.
she goes
singer.
to.
She's a little younger than you.
She's a singer?
She was born.
Oh
about
my!
a week
Wait,
ago.
the classic shade. I want to channel that. Who is she? She's a singer.
But the fact that it was so genuine,
singer?
it
What's
wasn't
her
even
song?
shade. It was.
Yeah.
What's her
You
song?
tell me when she's 21 and can go to a gay club. Okay, Olivia. Pass your driver's test first.
Oh, is that her song, Driver's License?
Yeah.
I'll Google it.
She can open for you on the gay club tour.
Okay. Should I put her on my group chat?
Yes. I don't know if she's a mom yet, but I'm sure.
Contact?
We'll connect you.
Beef with Olivia Rodrigo. Check.
Yeah.
Why? Has she been like that?
Well, she's
She's kind of
I
like
don't know
low
if
key.
she'd care,
She's like
honestly.
secretly feuding with.
What, she just said, I'm not
Well,
going
because
to
she was like
Eras?
Taylor's like protege, like would they do like speak now dances and everything, and then there was like a
Wait, she was doing Swiftie dances?
like she got famous. One of her big things was she covered a Taylor Swift song on YouTube while she was on High School Musical,
Yeah.
the musical movie or
She's
show.
just a Taylor Swift fan.
She's
Yes,
always
yes.
talked about how much she loves Taylor Swift,
but now nothing.
they've been distancing themselves recently, and there was like some drama because like she
One of her songs used
sampled-
sampled it without getting clearance, so Taylor to get added on as a writer.
But here is where I know for a fact that they're feuding is that Taylor, for the European leg of her tour, invited Sabrina Carpenter, who was like her arch nemesis, to be the opening act.
the girl who she
Oh.
Wrote Driver's License about. Yeah.
What,
so
'cause
Taylor
Sabrina
knows
can
who
drive?
she is.
Sabrina's an Uber driver that just really pissed her off one day. Sabrina took her man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Were they both on High School Musical?
The musical movie
The
show
boy
series.
that Sabrina took was on it with Olivia, but Sabrina was just out here like Disneying and pop starring.
Oh, so they're Disney kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, Sabrina's like an X-rated Disney because she has a lot of TikToks about her lyrics. She's
Wait, I like her song.
Honestly,
they're very. I'm
I-
not saying it's very edgy. I wouldn't call it Disney. It's what Miley
Okay.
probably wishes
Yeah.
she had.
All right. Well,
Wait,
thank you for
wait,
the advice.
yes. Why-
Okay, great. I'm gonna meet up with this Olivia. And,
No,
uh,
it's
Were you
not
at the gay
meeting
bar?
up with her.
At the
know,
gay
what was
club
that?
tour. At the gay club tour.
You're gonna
Yeah.
Google her.
She's gonna open for me.
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing.